Now, for more on the Abande attack, News Central's Sewuese Anyo joins us now from Benue State. Sewuese, what exactly did residents of Abande tell you about the latest attack and how it unfolded, and were there any early warning signs before the violence started or happened?
Okay, Sewuese, thank you very much. So from the accounts of the residents of Abande, I understand that the attacks have been happening for quite a while now, as a matter of fact, for over 14, 15 years now. And it's similar to the same time frame in even other local government areas, including Goma, Gwe East, and the rest of it. So we can see that the attacks within Benue State started happening almost within the same time frame. However, theirs has not been as consistent as the ones that have been in other communities. However, we have said that they have a feeling that these armed bandits come from the accounts of the residents. They said some of the bandits come through the Cameroon border, some of them come through the other side. They mentioned a couple of communities. They also allege that some members of their communities within other locations are harboring some of these bandits. They say that they have a feeling there is a kind of an in-house enemy that is selling them out to the other the bandits. And they have stated clearly that sometimes when something is happening, suddenly the bandits appear, and it looks way too well organized to be an outside thing. So they feel that the manner in which the bandits organize themselves to attack, they feel like there is an in-house information that they keep getting from, about the communities. For instance, look at what happened on the 3rd of February 2026 on a market day. We all know that market days are usually very occupied, very, because that's the only market they have. That's the only time they are able to trade and buy and sell. So everybody is expected to be at that market because they do not have any other market to go to. They do not have any other place to go to sell their goods or to buy their what they need in their homes. So these bandits take their time to get these special days of these people's life. They are a rural community. They are basically farmers. They don't have any life away from farming. They don't have any life away from, selling, and then just living their life peacefully and enjoying what nature has to offer. However, these bandits attack on these days, and then they devastate these communities. And according to one of the accounts that was really touching to me, he said that he just returned from the farm. He was trying to get some rest, and then some persons that were on their way to the market came back running to the community and saying, on our way to the market, we saw some persons and they were coming on motorcycles, a couple of motorcycles, like in large numbers. They came in large numbers on motorcycles. And we noticed that this is an unusual activity going on. We don't know what's going on. Can we all try to run away? And then he was trying to put up his stuff together, pick up his clothes and run away, and only to find out that by the time he stepped out of his door, the bandits were right in his face and they gave him a gunshot on his arm. He was lucky to survive the attack. So he ran into the bush, and sadly, there is no healthcare facility within that community. So he had to walk a very long distance to be able to access a health facility that attended to the gunshot wound. As a matter of fact, we also captured that in the report where he narrated the incident. Then there is also the case of the one that had the gunman knelt him down and asked him to raise his hands up, and his eyes were closed. He was praying, and then all of a sudden, he doesn't know what happened. They asked him to run. So he ran, and while he was running, they shot him. They shot at him, but he managed to escape. But out of frenzy, he ended up wounding himself. So there are so many terrible accounts. Women have reported being raped in this community, being sexually abused in these communities by these armed bandits. So it's a lot going on in there. There are devastating stories. As a matter of fact, when we got to that community, we were informed that this is the first time a media team has been able to trace this community and access to hear directly from the people. We are told that they have never seen any media organization in that locality before. They have never seen, as a matter of fact, even security That was the first time they were seeing security in that area. So they do not have enough security. We were told that at the time the attacks happened, there were 3 security men, mobile police officers that were in that locality at the time. And unfortunately, one of them was shot dead, and the other 2 managed to escape. And we could even see that the security post that was put aside for them, the bandits burnt down the area, they burnt down the houses, they burnt down their kitchens that they used to cook food to eat. So we could see that a lot had happened. At the time we got to Anwasi, we saw smoke coming out from some of the bushes, some of the houses, which pointed to the fact that an attack had recently happened. So because we were in a convoy of security operatives, we were very certain that some of the bandits were hiding somewhere around the mountains, because those areas are surrounded by mountains. They are surrounded by mountains. So the bandits attack, and then they go back and hide within the mountains. And then after a while, they return and attack again. So by the time we got to Anwasi, we heard some gunshots, and the police also fired to see if there would be a response. However, there was no response, and we waited for a while, and then we proceeded to Abande. By the time we got to Abande, we got information that some burnings were going on. The bandits had returned to Anwasi, a location we left barely 30 or 40 minutes ago, that they were burning the location again. So upon our return, the community members were telling us, immediately people left. These people came back and were burning our community. So we left the location, and on our way back to Jatoaka. And by the way, let me mention that from Jatoaka to this community is over 4 hours. At least, no matter how good the road is, I don't think you spend less than 2 hours on that road. And the road was horrible. The road is very narrow. We have to maneuver our way to get to that community. So imagine how far help is away from these people.
All right, thank you so much, Sewuese Anyo, for providing us with updates of the attacks happening in Abande village.